of their name. Don't harass them, don't DM them, you don't got to do anything to them. But if you just want to see who they are while you're performing, maybe you're moving the people around right now on your screen so you could like look at them when you're rocking out. That's who our judges are this evening. Normally in a slam, what happens is there's 5 judges and we would drop the highest and drop the lowest and add those 3 middle scores together. But tonight, because there are only 3 judges, we're going to add all of those scores together, and that's going to be your score for the night. I'm done with Mr. Excellent. Mr. Excellent wants to get kicked off of judging right now. He said, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, hit me up. He's trying to buy something real nice. I don't know. Don't do what Mr. Excellent is doing. But if you want to know who the judges are this evening, that's who the judges are. With that being said, we are going to get started. Once again, the order for the slam tonight is going to be Larry, Scorpiana X, Janine UC, Queen Calicia, and Nicole Tracy. But first, so we can calibrate the judges who are not going to be accepting Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or anything of the sort. They are just here simply for the culture this evening, but we're going to calibrate it. It's like a tester, like a litmus test. This person has no chance of winning tonight. They are simply here to like set the stage and take one for the team to really calibrate the score, because the judges who are taking no money from nobody are going to judge them the same way that they are going to judge everybody else. And so judges, as a friendly reminder, you are judging the poets on how their poem is written. Did the words rock your world? And even though we are not in person, did their performance via Zoom, wherever they are, their house, their car, a parking lot, outside, whatever, did it rock your world with how they perform? So you're judging it half on the poem itself and half on the performance of that poem. So with that being said, we're going to welcome our first poet to the stage, who is our sacrificial poet. And I know it's awkward because we want to stay muted, but like blow up the chat or like clap or do move your hands like ASMR, like vibe, so poets can see you. Just don't unmute at this time, because like I said, we want to make sure that we're muted. See, Mr. Excellent, the reaction button. But we're going to welcome our first poet to the stage. Please give it up for Asha.
After the first lick, someone once told me my pussy tasted like chai. I love your Indian side, they said. Exotic, ambiguous, brown skin whispered, microaggressions, my lips reminded them of jalebi sweetness. Lakshmi like kiss too intimidating for bland palates, this spice is not suited for the weak. Many attempts to capture like Indiana Jonesing to colonize, only to realize these eyes will turn you to stone. And amongst the sea of bones genetically ligamented into the present, tendency to tear down any attachment to community comes down to a sense of absence. Muscle memoried into being forgotten. Thin glimpses of chance turn into walls built so thick, skin knees get so weak and open to understand unwarranted advances is being seen. Recognized for once despite scar tissue trauma, but see, it was never the intention to hide. Self, aimlessly wandering, wondering when I'll be found, mind spun around like garbas, still dizzy from questioning values some call tradition. This is not your Masi's generation. Expectations falling short, this unknown skin is more familiar with being other than being safe, with being comfortable, more comfortable, agitated, lost tongues translated into disappointment, disjointed strands of silk saris, unable to say sorry in Gujarati, so they think I'm just entitled. Dialed into attempts at recognition, denial seeks to find false pathways for admission, but it seems like it's never enough. Exotified to the point where genetics will forever be in question. Circling back to points too tight to swerve, lineage only drawn straight when I'm letting someone down or when someone's going down and I become the fantasy. This regression into ecstasy to be seen seems to stifle actuality, but shit, at least some part of me remembers. Other than the exile and silencing and servitude and subordination, at least some part of me remembers the ancestry. Remembers rose water and mango trees. Tribes of women with trudva head to toe, remembers masala ratios and saffron royalty. See, my pussy might taste like chai, but my chai doesn't taste like home. Nor are my rotis round enough to supplement the lack of comfort in a room full of marigolds.
Audience, please give it up for Asha. I see some reactions. At this point, feel free to unmute and give Asha some love if you feel comfortable unmuting. And judges, how did y'all feel about that?
Yeah, Asha.
Woo, woo, woo.
Now is the appropriate time to unmute yourselves.
That was
Annie, you
great.
can done better than that.
That was good. I really like that.
Feeling a little conservative right now.
Waiting on
Kind
Brandon.
of hard for me, actually.
That was nice.
Everyone just awkwardly stare at the judges now for no reason. Y'all taking a long time right now. So Manny turns off his camera.
Did we lose Brandon? Are you still? Oh, there we go. There we go.
I'm gonna be patient with Mr. Excellent because he's judging, scorekeeping, and timekeeping. So I'm gonna give Mr. Excellent a little bit of leeway there on taking hella long.
Good.
All right. So we have a low of an 8.9, a 9,
Whoa!
and a
Boo.
9.
Uh,
So a cumulative score for Asha is 26.9.
That's so
I
good.
can give it up for the poet and not the score. It is a competition. We are here for the poetry and the community. Y'all give me a little bit of leeway. I didn't see some of those scores coming through because y'all got excited. So I love seeing the commentary, but just give me a second if I miss the numbers. Okay. So the first poet coming to the stage is going to be Larry. But before I welcome Larry, Scorpiana X, you are on deck, and Janine, you see you are in the hold. So now to officially get the slam started, please give it up for Larry.
I had a daughter once. I don't want you to feel sorry for me because the title of this poem, the daughter I had once, is alive and well. She's an adult now, married, a mother with 2 daughters and 2 sons of her own. She was a daughter just for a short time, came to live with us for 1 semester of her high school years. While she was here, she went on her first date. I got to make her date all nervous as we sat in the front room together, waiting for her to come downstairs. Got to watch her grow. I hope we helped her add to what her good parents taught her. Besides her, we've had 4 boys pass her home. Our once daughter's full-blooded brother, who was here at the same time as her. Another boy whose mother just left him at our doorstep that eventually we had to turn over to CPS to find relatives who could take care of him properly. Then the 2 boys we adopted legally and forever in our hearts as our sons. I had a daughter once. I pray for her and her brothers every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Anybody who feels comfortable unmuted, you can give it up for Larry. I see people giving reactions. I'm not allowed to have any feelings this evening, so have feelings for me. All right, we got 2 scores. We're waiting on 1 more score. All right. So we have for Larry, we have a low of a 6.7, an 8.3, and an 8.4. I'm gonna let Mr. Excellent do a little bit of math. That is a cumulative score for Larry of 23.4. Please give it up for the poet and not the score, because we are still here for the poetry and the community and not the score, even though it is a competition. All right, y'all, coming to the stage, we have Scorpiana X. On deck, we have Janine UC, and in the hole, we have Queen Calicia. So at this time, please give it up for Scorpiana X.
Mama never told me that when someone fucks you over or tries to fuck you over and you refuse to roll over, they will put your name in their mouth, fill cheeks to bursting, follow it with a chaser of bullshit, because how dare you not be welcome mat, not be dartboard, not be stomping grounds. Mama never told me it's best to weather the storm in silence. Be patient. Folks will know soon enough that gluttony for your title between their gums. In the end, truth is supposed to be the victor, right? But I grow impatient for vindication. I have a pocket full of names waiting to dance on my tongue, tempting like cheesecake. My mouth feels like a martyr hanging off the cross. My palms clench stigmata. My chest is desert wasteland, parched like destroyed reputation, and my ears have become watchtowers. I don't want to sit quietly with hand over ears, waiting for blood to flow like ebb tide. Want to reach out, claw hands to throats and scream, shut up, shut the fuck up, shut the front door and the back. But I will tell them, close your mouth when my name sits inside. Savor the flavor, because it is the closest you will ever get to substance.
Woo! Okay, unmute if you like and give it up for Scorpion on the X.
Yeah, Scorp.
Thank y'all for those of y'all using the reaction buttons. I appreciate that too, because myself and the artists and the audience get to see that as well. Judges, how do y'all feel about that? Right, all right. So we have a low of an 8.5. Have an 8.7 and a 9.2. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. See a lot of emojis coming in. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. So if I'm looking away, I apologize, y'all. Happy Mother's Day. I know that there are some mamas on the call today. All right, y'all, that is a cumulative score for Scorpion X of 26.4. So coming to the stage, we have Janine UC. On deck, we have Queen Calicia. And in the hold, we have Nicole Tracy. So please give it up for Janine UC.
Woo!
Exposure therapy. Part 4, aftermath. If all goes well, I'll learn to ignore the sound of gunfire, to not flinch at the sight of a gun. I'll be the hero that walks up to a mass shooter, takes 10 bullets in the chest, wrestles the gun from him, and bleeds out on the floor. Part 3, fire. Trigger finger sets off a fusillade of gunfire. Fierce power of the hammer propels dozens of bullets through the red hot barrel. Part 2, aim. The goal, to make us feel his burning rage, rearrange the class system, the social order, take on the uncaring, make them care about him. Part 1, load. The 30 bullet magazine from the back pages of the Gun Owners magazine. Protect, defend, hold dear the enemy of life. Part 0, aftermath. The shooter enters the school just as calculus class ends. A barrage of bullets bounces off the buildings, caught in the crosshairs, the crossfire. Manifesto in Morse code, bleeding hearts, lungs, livers. Ambulances come and go, sirens at full blare, leave body bags in rows. Vans bound for the morgue go silent, rehearse for the dozens of funerals to come. Part 1, load. The 30 bullet magazine from the back pages of the Gun Owners magazine. Protect, defend, hold dear the enemy of life. Part 2, aim. The goal, to make us feel his burning rage, rearrange the class system, the social order, take on the uncaring, make them care about him. Part 3, fire. Trigger finger sets off a fusillade of gunfire. Fierce power of the hammer propels dozens of bullets through the red-hot barrel. Part 0, aftermath. Manifesto in Morse code, bleeding hearts, lungs, livers, ambulances come and go, sirens at full blare, leave body bags in rows, vans bound for the morgue go silent, rehearse for the dozens of funerals to come. Another death spiral goes viral.
Feel free to unmute and give it up a round of applause for Janine UC. Judges, how do y'all feel about that? All right, we have a low of an 8.4, an 8.5, and an 8.9. Please give it up for the poet and not the score.
Woo!
iPad's giving me a lot of emojis. I have no idea who you are on their iPad, but I see you.
You're so funny.
All right, we have a cumulative score for Janine of 25.8. So coming to the mic, we have Queen Calicia, and on deck we have Nicole Tracy. So please give it up for Queen Calicia.
Okay, it was frozen. Woke up in the middle of the night and started writing this poem, these words, and real feelings came to me in my dreams. I was dreaming of designs in creative ways. I saw myself as a fashion designer. I saw the next thing I wanted to create. I dreamed my goals that are trying to form itself into reality. That is how I came up with this title, Dreams versus Reality. The creative mind is starting to unwind, breaking down overused sleep, unconsciously ignoring unbearable heat. As my phone reads 99 degrees, touching my head and rubbing my eyes, my flesh seems to agree with the heat wave in disguise. Chills. I feel it running down my spine, hiding in my bones and taking over my soul. Ideas, 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 and repeat, another night defeated. Headshots, low blows. Reality I am, afraid I am not. Dreams are getting bigger, stronger, and louder. Expecting reality to be near, ready to fight. Rooting for my dreams and clapping for the day. Cheers, cheers to both teams because I'm split in between. Ding, ding, ding. There can only be one winner. Dreams must turn into reality. Ding, ding, ding. KO.
Feel free to unmute and give a round of applause to Queen Calicia.
Thank you.
Everybody's getting better at those emojis. All right. See the little hands going up. Judges,
Yeah.
how do y'all feel about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we have a low of a 6.7, an 8.6, and an 8.9. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. Some little applause emojis coming up.
Thank you.
I'm not allowed to have an opinion, but I see a comment, a score of 10 for the earrings too. So the earrings are appreciated by the audience.
Thank
All
you.
right, that's a cumulative score for Queen Calicia of 24.2. Thank you, audience, for having an opinion. I can't feel any feelings tonight until the feature or the after party. If we stay on Zoom, I can feel nothing. Stoic. All right, all right. The final poet of round one is Nicole Tracy. So coming to the mic is Nicole Tracy. Feel free to give her a round of applause.
Proof you exist. A couple signatures, an official stamp from the Los Angeles County Public Records, my parents' name and age, time. 4 a.m. You became your own existence, but what time did you become your own identity? 7:30 a.m. On your way to school, your mother insists she knows you better than you know yourself because she birthed you. 9:30 a.m. Oh no, you have to pick demographics to fill in on a standardized test. 9:32. Is there a right answer? Or what if I choose the adjective instead of the noun? 9:33. What if I just left this one blank? 10:30. The test is over. The first question really is the hardest. 10:45. Recess with people you're supposed to have some shared identity with. None of them look like you. 10:50. If friends are a reflection of ourselves, then this mirror is broken. 11 a.m. Another test. Math. Thank God. No chance to get adjectives and nouns mixed up. 12 p.m. Okay, so math isn't your best subject, but you'll pass. 3 p.m. Your mother reads off your test scores and posts them proudly on the fridge. 3:01. Would my English score be higher if I knew what was the noun and what was the adjective? 3:30. If you position two mirrors just right, you can split yourself in two. 3:31. What would one half of you say to the other? Would you apologize to the other you? 4 p.m. Your teammate points out you are the only one who doesn't have to spray tan to be ready for the competition this weekend. Half of you should laugh, but none of you finds it funny. 7 p.m. Family dinner, but nothing about you identifies as family. 7:30. You only just noticed TV is no place to look for representation. Where are you supposed to find it instead? 7:45. Pick up a pen and paper. Pretend you are someone else looking for a reflection that looks like them. 8 p.m. Realize adjectives modify nouns. You are a noun. 8:01 p.m. Write yourself as the noun instead of an adjective. 8:30. Share your discovery. 8:32. Your only critique. Are you sure you're not an adjective? Forget the rest of adjective fragility. 8:40. Throw out every mirror that pretended to show you who you are. Throw every adjective mirror away. Keep the nouns. 10:30 p.m. Fall asleep pondering adjectives. Does a noun need an adjective? Google noun representation. Filter out adjective interpretations of nouns. No results. 11:30 p.m. Maybe noun representation is something I have to do myself. 2 a.m. An adjective tries to modify a noun, tries to modify my noun. 4:01 a.m. You are your own identity.
Woo! Feel free to unmute and give Nicole Tracy a round of applause. Woo! Judges, how did y'all feel about that?
That was good.
All right, y'all give me a second while I backpedal past some comments. All right, we have a low of a 7. We have an 8.8 and a 9.1. Give it up for the poet and not the score. Don't get tired now, y'all. The feature is gonna come up before the break. Don't get tired. Had some people join us. Welcome to the party. Happy Mother's Day for anybody who is celebrating. You have a cumulative score for Nicole Tracy of 24.9. See them hands. I see those emojis. Thank y'all. I appreciate it because I'm not allowed to have any opinions about the poets tonight, except for our feature. So before we go into a little break, but I've learned on Zoom, you know, they call it like a bio break. I guess instead of calling it like a water break or a bathroom break, all these Zooms I've been to, they call it a bio break. You do what you need to do. Before we go on the bio break, we're going to get a preview from our featured artist tonight. So y'all excited? You could unmute, get some emojis. Let this person know that you are like hella pumped that they're here tonight on Mother's Day. You could have been anywhere, but you were here for them. So show them some love, make them feel appreciated. Turn on your cameras. There we go. Love it, love it. And because this person is a worthy and amazing feature, I've actually never met her before, so I'm super juiced to meet her and see her this evening. And she has an amazing bio. I'm going to look at my phone and read to you because you need to know all these awesome things about her. So our feature tonight is Santa Clara County Poet Laureate, Janice Sapigao. Got it right that time. Practice that. Want it to be right. As Scorpion X talked about, we got to pronounce people's names correctly. Her pronouns are she, her. She is a daughter of immigrants from the Philippines. She is the author of 2 books of poetry, Microchips for Millions, put out by the Philippine American Writers and Artists, Inc., which is about immigrant women workers in Silicon Valley, and Like a Solid to a Shadow, Timeless Infinite Light by way of Nightboat Books, which is about her father, family lineage, and learning Ilokano. She authored 2 published chapbooks, Toxic City, Tinder, Tender Press, and You Don't Know What You Don't Know by Mondo Bummer Chapbooks. She was named one of the San Francisco Bay Area Women to Watch in 2017 by KQED Arts. Her work has appeared in literary magazines such as Apogee Journal, Entropy, The Offing, and Waxwing Literary Journal. She's a VONA Voices and Kundiman Poetry Fellow. She earned a Master of Fine Arts degree in writing from California Institute of the Arts, CalArts, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Ethnic Studies with honors, and a minor in Urban Studies and Planning from the University of California, San Diego. She is currently an assistant professor of English at Skyline College in San Bruno, California. She is the 2020-2021 Santa Clara County Poet Laureate and a Poet Laureate Fellow with the Academy of American Poets. So before we go on the break, we're going to get a preview from the very lovely Janice Sapigao. So Janice, the mic is yours. And don't laugh, own it. That's your bio. We had to get it right for the people. I'm going to give the mic to you, my lovely.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, Scorpiana, for inviting me and choosing the long bio, Lindsey for reading it, everyone for being here on a Sunday night. It's all true. Thanks for listening. I am going to read poems about the women in my life. It is Mother's Day today, which is actually, I thought would be a lot more difficult for me. But yeah, all of the women in my life just inspire me to tell stories in ways that are deeply honest and complicated. And so this first poem is called I Would Run, and it has an epigraph by Lucille Clifton, and she says, "May you kiss the wind, then turn from it." I would run. Someone on social media asked what women would do if for one day there were no men in the world. And someone said what I'd say. What I would say is pedal shoes to pavement and spin my legs an infinity sign. I would pump my arms, elbows, shadow boxing against sundown. My freedom is a series of songs. I'd run miles into the troposphere and I'd greet the sky. I'd float, I'd sing, I'd exhale. So many women said they'd run at nighttime somewhere where everywhere is a nowhere safe enough. Having borders and having boundaries are not in this sense the same. My mind, my body, run curves against expectation, against traps. What I would do is a conditional statement, and conditionals contain the future in them. So I'm speaking a futuristic language. I'd be running my mouth a marathon. I'd be a movement, a wave, a crash, a breakbeat without fear of a man mistaking my silhouette as his invitation, without catcalling, eclipsing my own worry with erasure. This is not a poem that hates men. This is a poem that will never outpace patriarchy if the pavement isn't perishable, if expanse is not afforded to everyone. May women never carry the lines men cross. May body language nevermore be mutable. Oof, thank you.
Thank you so much, Janice. That was amazing. teaser poem. I'm allowed to have feelings about the feature, but not the competitors. But thank you so much for being here tonight. We are actually celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. For people that don't know, May is AAPI Heritage Month. Janice being Filipino American, myself being third generation Chinese American. So we're excited to celebrate. And if you didn't know, AAPI Heritage Month started off as a 10-day celebration in the 1970s. Started at the federal level with the idea of celebrating us for 10 days and later became a resolution signed under Jimmy Carter for the whole month to be a celebration of us. So if you don't know, it's an amazing time to really amplify our cultures and our voices with this increase of violence and things going on against our community. So just your PSA for the evening. But that being said, I know people have been sitting for a long time, at least I think y'all don't have your cameras on, but we are gonna go on a 10-minute bio break. Let's use the word. So get some water if you need a cigarette, if that's your jam, if you need to use the restroom, you're going to go eat, whatever, stretch, move around. We are going to go on a 10-minute break. When we return, we'll have the full feature from Janice, and then we will go on into the second round of the San Jose Poetry Slam. I don't know what y'all are doing. I can't see anybody, but feel free to go on a break for 10 minutes, and we will come back at 8:08, and I'm going to do my best to be on the dot because people got shit to do. I can unmute and talk to myself and make it weird for people since nobody has their camera. Drink my probiotics, y'all. I'm not an alcohol drinker, but I'm in the luxury of my own home. So I'm gonna have some like probiotic shots. Host San Jose Poetry Slam. Boost that immunity, baby. It's allergy season.
Hang on.
Got like 2 minutes. It's blast off time. I was actually trying to find the land acknowledgement map for the whole country. I couldn't find it, so that's just me. I don't know. Do you know, Scorp, for the land acknowledgement map for the whole country? I know it like the California one, but someone had sent me like the whole country one and I couldn't locate it on Google right now. I was gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah, I used to have it.
I thought I did too, Save. That's why I went and turned off my camera because I was like looking at Google. I just wanted to have it for folks. Because the California one, when I go to the East Bay Meditation Center, they always put that one in. And that's awesome, but I'm not sure if all of our folks here tonight are from California.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. That's the California one, but I know there's also like a whole nationwide one that I want to have just also for myself. And I thought that it was like the first one that comes up on Google, but at least maybe I'm putting in the wrong words. I couldn't find it. Oh, Janice put the same thing. Thank you, Janice. Let's take a look. Oh, not just California. Oh, that's why. Okay. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate it. Perfect. Canada. Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for your assistance on that. For some reason, I remember that website address being different. Maybe that's why. Anyways, that's something I like about the Zoom culture, depending on what you do or how often you're using Zoom. I like that it's kind of like if you have to introduce yourself, you're asked to say your name, your pronouns, and then acknowledge the indigenous land that you're on. At least that's my experience on a variety of Zooms, from like open mics or meditation, like different classes. So I just like being able to have that, because almost every event I've been to, and they're like, and here's the indigenous land map. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. So I was ill prepared earlier. I didn't have that for everybody. All right, it's now 8:09. I gave y'all a 1-minute grace period. Are you ready? Let's do this. I want to make sure there's an audience for Janice. I'm just waiting for people. I'm waiting for people to let me know. Okay, there goes Janine. You don't got to turn your cameras on if you don't want to. I'm just trying to make sure that the audience is alive before I have our lovely feature come back. I wanted to rock out for some people. Okay, I'm getting some like reaction buttons. Okay. Because that'd be messed up to be like, come show your amazing, beautiful personal poetry. And nobody is back yet. That's not what I'm going to do to our feature. So I want to make sure that we got some humans that are ready to feel their feelings, because we're all allowed to feel about this one. So I know I'm ready to feel. I know you're ready to feel. I saw some more people turn on their cameras. I'm seeing some people give us some reactions, some emojis. So with that being said, Ms. Janice, you read your bio. We got your teaser poem. We're excited that you're here. We can't wait to hear what's going to happen from you in this next moment that is yours. So Janice, please take the floor. The mic is yours, my lovely.
Yay, thank you. Thanks, Lindsay. I do want to say that it is, I've always wanted to go to the San Jose Poetry Slam. And so now I'm here for like the second time ever. And I just wanted to acknowledge that I think slam poetry and spoken word poetry were one of my first real entry points into wanting to write poems, and to make sure that when I read them, that people listen and to make sure that the words come alive or are animated. And so I owe a lot of that to Asian American Pacific Islander artists. And so I actually have an access transcript if anyone wants to follow along. And at the bottom of the document, I have a list of other artists if you just want to follow them or like look them up. Like I always want to just recommend more people. So that's there if you want to follow. And just like, yeah, I'm trying to just write and read things that I truly believe, and things that I will truly believe like 10 years from now when I look back. And so if I write about climate change or, my experience as a teacher, I want it to be something from my experience and not from the people I'm like writing about. So that's just kind of like the challenge I'm giving myself these days. So yeah, I don't know. This next poem is about my auntie, whom I love, but who keeps calling me and I just can't deal with the phone calls. So this poem is called Body Mass Index, and it kind of is at the intersection of like disability justice and like acknowledging people's like fat phobia, but also wanting to just really support and advocate for my auntie. So body mass index is actually a really bullshit way to calculate body fat, and it is like very sexist and very racist, and it's still used. So this poem is called Body Mass Index. My auntie sits slumped like a pillow to a headboard, her body the incline of the city's foothills. When she leaves San Jose for the Philippines, I drive her. From the rear view, I see she lives sprawled across the landscape of the back seat. My auntie is in oblique, askew. She lives in a drop. Her collarbones and neck rest make a trench dip, her head a sunset, sunken, jutting in between two planes. Plateaus of discomfort and abnormal respiration. My auntie is short of breath, of movement, of nation. She is one long ligament. She needs 3 arms and one belongs to me. She needs her legs and a cane. As I escort her to the bathroom, to the car, to the security line at the airport for maybe the last time ever, every person in a wheelchair, each elder traveling alone could be my auntie. A part of this or that country, broken with a passport, dual citizenship, is 6,972 miles long, stretched wide and somehow thin. I know the word for body in Ilokano is bagi, as in baggage, as in heavy, bagi. My auntie is baggy, her physique too big for this life. My auntie is a bag ready to be packed, picked up, put on a scale for judgment, full of air and waiting for her flight to propel, ready to go home to a place that fits her rest. Ooh, shout out to everyone's aunties. Yeah, I just think it's really important to humanize people and all of their different complicated identities. And so I really wanted to write about my auntie. And I don't know, I'm gonna read some like poems that are like pleasurable for me to read. I think they're really fun. And so I identify as Filipino American. I grew up second generation. So I have 2 poems that are called second generation. And they're just about like the nuances of what it means to like be raised by someone from a different country. Like even different to me, right? Like, so anyway, whatever. I'll just read. Second generation. When you grow up being teased for being Filipino, for eating rice, when you bring your food to school in your lunchbox and they said it smelled foreign, they forgot to say at the end of that racist sentence, it smelled foreign, they meant. The drought of Filipino food in college when you lived in the dorms, sandwich this and French fries that, and then you spend $6 of your meal points on a can of Spam because you miss home that much. For the internship at the publishing house, when your vegan boss looked at you like a dog eating mush, for your audacity to bring bones into her home, onto her plate, and white people really want to take your food, elevate it, they say, charge $20 to $40 a plate, they say that it's theirs, tell you everything about it, tell you your culture without your history, without the soul, your food, without your face. Ooh, it is really hard for me to see Filipino cuisine and knowing that it's very communal and that a whole meal for like 3 people could be $10. And then to see a restaurant where one plate is like $40. Like that is so antithetical to community and cuisine. And so I just wanted to write something about that. This next poem is like, I don't know, it's like a riddle poem. So I'm gonna need you all to guess. Like basically a question with this poem is, who is lying? Okay, so I'm gonna read a poem and I want you all to tell me who you think is lying in this poem. It's also called Second Generation. Okay, someone is lying and it's not me. Ma told me to tell my brother and no one else what the doctor told us. Ma told her brother with me in the room like I wasn't there. I invited my ninang to my wedding and I told her why. My ninang said that my uncle already told her. And when he told us, he wouldn't tell anyone. She said my uncle told her. I told my mom Ninang was coming and that Ninang said she already knew about my mom. Ma told her brother he shouldn't have told Ninang. My uncle told me, he told my mom, said he didn't tell Ninang. Somebody is lying and no one is talking to anyone about anything. And now no one is talking to each other and no one knows what to say to Ma. And don't I know it? So I want to know who you think is at fault. Who is lying? So if you could type in the chat, do you think it's me? Do you think it's uncle, auntie, ninang, brother? I don't know. Who is at fault? Any thoughts? Uncle, your mother? Ooh, uncle. Okay. Other people. We got like 2 votes for uncle. They're all lying. Is very much a part of, I don't know, I think sometimes in my conversations with my family members, it's about saying the least harmful thing, which feels like lying, which feels like dishonesty, but all of those things just become different. So anyway, the correct answer is uncles. It's always uncles. Uncles are always at fault. Okay, this next poem is called Uncles. The Bud Light crystallizing in the freezer hides high above a child's reach. The uncle's table sits in the backyard of my mother's house parties. The beer and barbecue footnote their good time. And I go to greet them like daughter, like niece, like good girl, they say, like grown woman now, they say. At what age did uncles stop seeing me as a little girl? Since when did they dress up my growth with their pickup lines? Each word sharpening a knife of bedside manner. Each nervous laugh covering up the names of women who don't stay. Oh, you're a teacher now, they repeat with bedroom eyes. Teach me, they say, to my classroom. They say, I want to come. The pork belly on the table I used to draw on as a kid, curls in the cold air, sausage cackling char on the grill, flatlining my red lips that I paint for myself, my voice, a fire extinguisher against all of the family men who pretend family means things I can get away with. A myth of fragility, trapping too many girls, forced to call mercy. Each beer sip, a squeal silenced. Each man still a swine on the spit. Ooh, I think it's just been really important for me to talk about the ways that rape culture and sexual assault are embedded in our everyday experiences, the ways that we are subject to little comments of resistance or jokes are not jokes, are really revelations about male insecurity and male ego. And I think if we stop and take a look at those things, we can really unpack them. But really it's for like men and cis men to unpack too. So yeah, I just really want to write poems that challenge people to think and to reflect on themselves. So uncles, I want to check on time before I read maybe like one more poem. How is time? Are we okay? Okay. Ooh, that means I have lots of time. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. This next poem, and thank you for being, ooh, I'm looking in the chat and I see that uncles be lying. Yeah. Yeah. F the time penalty. Thank you, Judge Manny. I appreciate that. Yes, put all the Tito boys in check. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna write a poem called Tito Boy. Thank you, Lorenz. Okay, maybe last poem? Maybe last poem. Mother's Day has been really difficult for me, and I want to say like happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, to people who mother themselves, to people who have hopes of motherhood. It's just like it's been such a weird day, such a weird commercialized but also loving day. So this is like one of the last poems I wrote about my mom, and it's called Bill Pay. And it's just about like what it means to be a caretaker for a mother when like mothers have been caretakers, you know? It starts with an epigraph by Chance the Rapper. He has a song called Sunday Candy. A line in there is, "You smell like light, gas, water, electricity, rent." I just love that song, love that line. All right, bill pay. We don't know how to pay the bills on time. And we don't know the password to your bank account. And in all of our languages, I understand why you stacked linens and face towels and rubber bands and plastic bags in drawers and hallway closets, everything filled to the brim. And now that I'm older, I know that lawyers and doctors are 1,000 times the cost of Alfredo sauce jars and plastic silverware in the garage, stockpiles of love and future and sacrifice and of your forethought and of our survival. And we don't know how to fix the clogging bathtub. And why isn't there a drain in the sink? And our tenants are spiders and the occasional garden cockroach. Who are we without your meals for 20 people? And what do I do with all of your pambahay wear? Last week, I showed Dad how to do a mobile deposit, and I used my good English for the phone call with your employer. The microwave installed in the cupboards only has 2 functioning buttons, and we tell your boss, your coworkers, me, Dad, William, Cynthia, Paulo, they ask us when you'll be back. And our Christmas gifts for each other are still under a desk in March. And all of the aunties and uncles and nibblings visit with fried chicken and arroz caldo. And it's hard to vacuum and disinfect when you're sleeping in your hospital bed. In the living room, Our Lady of Nazareth, of peace, of Remeron, of Lovenox, our shrine of home health aides. And when Dad asks me to call unemployment, and when William asks me to buy you more diapers, and when I ask Cynthia if she's coming, and when Cynthia calls me when she sees your irregular breathing, and Ma, we wonder how to make you stay, watching Netflix with us, your kids. Did we cobble enough karma to keep you to sleep through American Pickers with Dad? Can we leave our whole ass house neglected for your pulse? Can God let the bills pay themselves for now? How many rosaries will equal the rent? When will we know if we have paid enough in prayers, if this will be it, if this will be the day, or if tomorrow is the time, or now in the hour of our debt, if God will keep all of the lights on? Whew, thank you for letting me read a poem about my mother, whom I miss so much. And yes, I didn't include this in my Access transcript, but I'll put it in there. So if anyone wants to read it, please do, please share it, and please read all of the artists who are at the bottom of the document. I love reading and listening to other people. So yeah, I'm gonna stay and listen to everybody else here. So thank you so much for having me, and good luck to all of the people in the slam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janice. That was amazing. I was hella mad. My Wi-Fi legit cut off. I missed like a minute of your set. I was so mad, but everything I got to hear outside of that minute was so beautiful. Thank you so much for coming. And before you unmute, could you please feel free, if you have a website, Instagram, a place where folks can buy your chapbooks or anything you have coming up for folks to connect with you, feel free to drop it in the chat if you are so inclined, so people can get more of your work and stay in touch with what you're doing. Yeah, unmute and give Janice some love, some applause, some emojis. I know people are getting tired, but it takes a lot to feature and come. It's getting late and someone come and like bare their soul for the audience. So give her, I saw Lorenz turn on that camera. What's up, Lorenz? Give her that love that she's so deserving of. There we go, janicewrites.com. I like that everybody needs a self-care break. But when she is back from her break, y'all can tap in with Janice. Thank you so much, Janice. That was amazing. So many feels for like it's Mother's Day, it's Happy Heritage Month, it's like mental health awareness month. We're here at San Jose Slam. I just feel like your set touched on so many things that are so important to like all of our community. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing with us today. It's a pleasure to finally meet you and hear you tonight. So I'm so excited that you are a feature for this evening. I also love that you're going to stay and support the other artists, because not all the feature artists do that. It's not a judgment or a criticism, but I love it when the artists that are the big features come and stay from beginning to end. That's love. I just want to acknowledge that. I saw you doing that. How y'all doing? I know people are getting tired. Somebody said they were in New York, so I know it's getting hella late out there. Y'all feeling good? I see most of the cameras off, and again, that's totally fine until it's your turn. I just can't get a reading how the audience feels. But are y'all ready to get back to the slam? Y'all can give me some emojis or something. You don't got to turn on the cameras. Give me some hearts, some little high fives. I don't know. Some claps. I got to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just got a bunch of feels. I know we're in the feels, and now I'm not allowed to have feelings anymore. So they got to go away. I got to like turn them off. And we're going to proceed with the slam. Thank you to the ladies. I was asking on the break, talking to myself, drinking probiotics. I was like, hey, can we get that land map? I thought the address was different, but if y'all want to scroll back in the chat, if you are curious, like I was saying, I am located in San Jose, California, which is not even former, it's still Ohlone territory. Unfortunately, the Ohlone people just don't rule the land and don't have access to the land in that way. But like I said, in the Zoom culture, I've really seen that people, you start off with your name, your pronouns, and the indigenous land that you were on if you were in the United States or Canada. So for people that want that, we do have that map in the chat, just so you can, you know, find that out. It's good information to have. And I like that that's happening on the Zoom culture. And I got to shout out Gen Z. I feel like Gen Z has been really proactive on us saying all those things, our names, our preferred chosen pronouns, and our indigenous lands. But with that being said, I know it's getting late. Let's go back into the slam. Once again, judges are Mr. Excellent, Judge Brandon, and Judge Manny. So for people that are performing, once again, if you are so inclined to flip around your Zoom screens any way you want, they are judges. You don't offer them money or anything. They are judging simply for the culture. They are the judges that are going to be here tonight. In a more traditional slam with more people, there would normally be 5 judges, and we would drop the highest and lowest scores and add up your 3 middle scores. That would be your score. But tonight, we ripped the Band-Aid off because we thugged it out for Mother's Day to be here celebrating Apogee Heritage Month. Those 3 scores, that is just your score. Those 3 judges, that is your cumulative score. So we're doing it a little different for the night. And we're also ripping Band-Aid off because we are not going to have that sacrificial poet. Earlier this evening, we had a poet that had no chance of winning Asha, so graciously was our sacrificial poet that helped set the litmus test for the judges. So all right, y'all, everybody from round 1 made it into round 2, which doesn't always happen. So no Band-Aid, we're going to just go straight for it, and we're going to get into the slam. So yeah, I know who the poets are, but we're still going to say. So the poets who made it to round 2 are going to be performing in this order. Scorpiana X, Janine UC, Nicole Tracy, Queen Calicia, and Larry. So I just want to say that, and we're going to get it going. What does Manny just say? I had some tea. If there's any score creep, my bad, folks. Manny, you can't be talking about score creep. You got to be consistent the whole way through. You might have to go have like a little cup of coffee so you can do it right for these poets tonight. But that being said, are y'all feeling good? I see somebody drinking, looks like some wine. I see you having a good time on Zoom today. It might have been juice. I don't judge what people drink. Oh, I got some Sprite. Okay. I was drinking my probiotics, so we're ready. With that being said, the first poet we are going to welcome to the stage is Scorpion X. On deck, we have Janine Ucine, and the hold we have Nicole Tracy. So audience, please give it up for Scorpion X, kicking off round 2 here at the San Jose Poetry Slam.
My mother doesn't tell me I'm beautiful. She doesn't even tell me that I'm mildly pretty. When I ask her why, she tells me that I'm smart, that my mind is the deepest spot in the galaxy. She tells me the world is a minefield for those they name woman, and pretty girls learn to need rescuing, but I must learn to eviscerate. Mama says I'm not a twig meant to be snapped and used for kindling. I am taught to bend like grass until I have invisibled and then strike match to petrol. Mother tells me to be a dragon while men sleep. She tells me to be feral, says when they call me beast to puff chest and extend claws, tell me I was born with the power of midnight, that I was meant to be she-wolf. She tells me to growl like my veins are cinder, tells me never to be tamed, to never be like her. My mother tries to forge me in fire, throws me into the forest to fight my way through concrete trees, tells me not to come home until I have made my first kill, tells me not to come home until there is blood on my hands, tells me not to come home until I have feasted on jugular, tasted salt and iron in the back of my throat, learned the feel of my teeth tearing into tendons. My mother tells me that the woods will destroy you unless you learn to shed your skin until you have exposed raw survivor. She says I must lurk in the shadows until the predators learn what it means to be my prey. She tells me that my bruises are a roadmap to lead me back to her. She tells me not to come home until I have made my first kill. She tells me to hurry up and come home.
Feel free to unmute and give it up for Scorpiana X.
Yeah.
Judges, how do y'all feel about that?
Oh,
See people giving the emojis, giving the comments. People want to know what's in Manny's tea. I don't know, Manny. Maybe that's not our business. Mr. Excellent, did we add a fourth judge and I was unaware?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. That's why we put judge in our name. There's only three of us, Manny, Brandon, and myself.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, y'all. So for Scorpiana X, we have a low of an 8.7. We have an 8.9, and we have a 9.2. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. Like snapping. I low-key think for like Zoom culture, people should get some like pom-poms because you could just shake it and you never have to like unmute. All right, Scorpiana X's score for round 2 is 26.8. So coming to the Zoom stage, we have Janine UC, Nicole Tracy, you are on deck, and Queen Calicia, you are in the hold. So please give it up for Janine UC.
I crouch in the corner. Oh, okay, well, thank you. I crouch in the corner of the motel room, my mom's voice on the phone. He's still on the bed, gun pointed at my head. She asks if I'm okay. I'm fine, I say. Tell me about you and Dad, my sister and brothers. Each name she mentions, one more person who must never know. I vanish into her voice. She remembers the cost of the call, says she's glad I'm fine, ends the connection. He says, I could have dumped you in the desert. I want to say, yes, please. Warm sand wrapping around me, no one finding me, a lovely way to disintegrate.
Audience, give it up for Janine UC.
ooh, Janine.
Judges, how do y'all feel about that? I tried to take that pause. I wanted to make sure that the artist was done before I unmuted myself. All right, so we have a low of a 7.5, an 8.2, and an 8.4. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. Y'all can show some hands, you can get some emojis. Don't get too tired on us now. Don't know it's late on the East Coast and in the South. I like seeing those little hand claps coming into the chat. All right, Janine UC's round 2 score is 24.1. Coming to the stage, we're gonna have Nicole Tracy. Queen Calicia, you're on deck, and Larry, you are in the hold. So please give Nicole Tracy a round of applause.
America loved everyone until they could not make them American. You can't drop letters and have someone look more like they belong here. We were here, we were here, we were here. America wants first generation to mean first to forget where you come from, first to call yourself American and nothing to come before it. First to forget Angel Island or Manzanar as part of your own family history. America wants to forget their own history, their history of exploitative labor, systemic oppression, forget their foundation of selective freedom, selective justice, and violent racism. America wants me to forget, apologize to them instead of demanding reparations. We were here, we were here, we were here. America loved me as the model minority until it didn't. America loved me until I spoke up, until I stopped smiling, until I said no. I am here, I am here, I am here. America said they loved me at the same time the news rolled with China virus, Kung flu, and hate crimes. America says forget the yellow peril, forget we ever called you terrorist and traitor and not a citizen anymore. Just forget, just forget, just forget. I wait at the metro for my morning commute and a man sees me, thinks outsider, opens his mouth to ask me, did you see on the news? Orientals are facing discrimination because of the flu. And this is before Atlanta and San Francisco and Indianapolis and New York City and insert major city here, insert major city here, insert major city here. I'm quiet, I hold my breath. I do not exhale, I do not cough. I do not tell him it has gone on for over a year. He tells me he wants to witness violence so he can be the one to intervene and stop it. All I hear is, I shouldn't be afraid. I'm not the one he wants to inflict violence on today. I'm not afraid, I'm just angry.
Please give it up for Nicole Tracy. Feel free to unmute, give her those emojis and reactions. How y'all feel about that, judges?
Oh,
That was amazing. So amazing. I'm so nervous. So amazing.
Thank you.
All right, my lovelies, we have a low of an 8, an 8.8, and a 9.4. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. It is a competition. We are here for poetry and the people. Can y'all give Mr. Excellent a round of applause? Tonight he has been a judge, the scorekeeper, and the timekeeper. If you are new to Slam, it's a 3-minute or less poem with a 10-minute grace period because the time is part of how poets are scored. So that's why they got to run the stopwatch. They're watching the numbers. So in order to have this competition, there are people working hard behind the scenes. So I just want to honor him for getting that done for us. So Nicole's score for round 2 is 26.2. Coming to the end of round 2 here at the San Jose Poetry Slam, May edition, Mother's Day edition. Coming to the stage, we have Queen Calicia, and in the hold, we have Larry. So please give it up for Queen Calicia coming to the mic.
It's funny because I started this poem and I stopped. I started half of the poem and months later I continued it. When I started the poem, I was sitting on the trail from walking and I just wanted to write a poem. And I started to write down the words and nothing came to me. All the words that came to me was what I felt at the moment and what I saw. And I came up with the poem called Shh. Peace, peace, peace. Sitting in the middle of nowhere. Peace. Watching the leaves, flowers, and trees. Peace. Silence, thoughtless. Butterflies sway my way. Wings flapping, applauding me. Wind hugging hugging me while the sun kisses my melanin. Peace. Something that only the soul can identify, flesh can't deny. Peace, joy, happiness. Shh. Soaking into your veins, erasing all the pain. The body drifting, lifting and shifting into this place I am not familiar with. Or am I? Returning or finally touching the handle of subtleness, calm, tranquility, still. Shh, still, I am. Thank you.
Audience, please give it up for Queen Calicia. You could unmute, you could do those emojis, you could blow up the chat.
Ooh.
Judges, how do y'all feel about that? Sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay. So we have a low of a 7, an 8.9, and a 9.5. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. See those clapping hands? I appreciate it. All right, all right. See Mr. Excellent working hard. Light just beating on his face, crunching those numbers. This has absolutely nothing to do with the slam, but people always ask me. So while we're waiting, if you can see behind me, there is a painting of Poetic Justice of Tupac Shakur and Janet Jackson from the film Poetic Justice, which is one of my favorite films. Tupac Shakur is like my all-time favorite of everything of all time. And people always see me on Zoom and be like, oh my God, Poetic Justice. So I just like to say that that was made by Tyler Gordon, who is an artist here in San Jose. He is currently 14 years old, and I bought that 2 years ago when he was 12. And so he went from having like a few hundred to thousands to like those thousands and thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram. He ended up painting a portrait of Vice President Harris, and it got taken to her. So if you enjoy that art and you want to support local artists, particularly young artists, you can follow him on Instagram at Ty Gordon's World. And I always shout him out because I get people DMing me on Zooms all the time to be like, oh my God, like who did the art? And so I would say, even if it wasn't a young person, you know, I would say who the artist was, but particularly because it's such a young man, I like to always point that out to people who might be curious. Manny knows my poetry, already knows. The cumulative score for round 2 for Queen Calicia is 25.4. All right, we have one remaining poet in round 2 at this Mother's Day edition of the San Jose Poetry Slam. So please give it up for Larry.
Airplane chairs from Ellen Bass. I'm jealous of the woman next to me on the airplane. The space between her hips and the armrests. There's more of her belt that she is not using than she is using. There's just a nub at the end of my belt. What has she missed? The racks and racks and racks of ribs, the mountains of mashed potatoes, the hours upon hours spent in the all-you-can-eat buffets, the cakes, the ding-dongs, apple pies, and whole boxes of cookies eaten in one sitting, couple noodles, ramens, mac and cheese, sucking in spaghetti till it comes out your nose when you sneeze, going to the Jack in the Box to get burgers for the family and getting one for the road home, sweating at 40 degrees for no reason at all, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attack, stroke. She's missed it all.
Please give it up for Larry. Feel free to unmute yourselves. Give Larry a round of applause. Do those reactions. Blow up the chat.
Larry.
Judges, how do y'all feel about that? It's the last artist you're going to be asked to judge this evening. If you judge when you leave here, I can't control that. I don't suggest it, but it's the last artist you're going to judge here on our platform this evening. All right. They were so ready. For Larry, we have a low of an 8.2, an 8.5, and a high of a 9.2. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. Brian was ready. I saw he was like, I'm clapping. I'm so ready. I'm practicing all night. Done cutting vegetables. I'm here for it. We're going to get that final score from Mr. Excellent. And while he tabulates who the winner of our slam is today, we're actually going to have a guest bonus poet momentarily come and rock for y'all. I saw them possibly turn on their camera and make faces at me, but that's okay. We can make it awkward. All right, the final score for round 2 for Larry is 25.9. Y'all can unmute and give it up for all the poets who participated this evening.
Woo!
Right.
Good job, everyone.
Amazing. I apologize if I'm going in and out. I'm getting an echo on myself. My Wi-Fi hates my life. So if this is getting complicated, if anyone watching, I apologize for the tech issues. All right. Once again, before I bring up a bonus poet, I would like to say that this San Jose Poetry Slam happens every second Sunday of the month from 6:30 to 10-ish on Pacific time. You don't have to be from San Jose to compete in this Zoom culture, which has been really exciting to see during the pandemic. All the awful stuff, we're not minimizing the trauma anyone has gone through, but on a positive note, it's been really exciting to see folks coming from all over the country and even all over the world to participate as poets, as judges, as fans. So thank y'all for being here. If you are not following San Jose Poetry Slam on Instagram, I'm about to drop that handle right now. If you're here, you probably are, but in case you're not, and you can also like the San Jose Poetry Slam on Facebook. If y'all give me a second, I will also get you that link. And once again, we want to thank Poetry Center San Jose because this is one of their programs. So once again, Poetry Center San Jose, before COVID, in person was legit having like poetry events in the city of San Jose almost on a nightly basis, from like open mics to the slam to featured poets to readings to workshops. There was a lot of epic events going on. Many of those are still happening on Zoom for free. So you can look up Poetry Center San Jose. We put that link in the chat and we can do so again in a little bit if y'all want to follow. Because like I said, since everything is on Zoom, you don't have to be in San Jose to participate in so many of these programs. So thank y'all for being here tonight. That being said, well, Mr. Excellent crunches the numbers for us and we get to these magic moments of who the winner is for the slam. We do have a bonus guest tonight that kind of got put on the spot, not by me, by secret behind the scenes people to rock tonight. So I'm excited because I haven't seen him in such a long time in person or on Zoom. And I was DMing him the other day to check in. So Lorenz Dumuk, how you been? It's good to see you at the beach or on a mountain, wherever this background picture is you are.
No, it's just
looking
some cherry
good,
blossoms.
looking smiley.
Just some cherry blossoms in the background. That's all.
Just some cherry blossoms, you know, just low key. But I heard a little rumor that you were gonna share a poem for us to kill some time. So you're gonna rock the mic for us?
Yeah, sure. We good.
You said sure.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know. If you don't know Lorenz, you totally should. I'm excited to hear from him. Please give a round of applause to the very lovely Lorenz Dumuk, put on the spot and rocking out for us. So I'm excited that Lorenz is gonna share for us tonight, and y'all will be too in the next couple of moments. That's the love I was looking for.
Oh my. Okay. But yeah, I went to go look for the poem, and this is the first poem I found. So here we go. I will not love you when you are an asshole. I will make space, keep distance to protect my being. Listen when your heart is ready to truly speak. I will not love you when you are wall and refuse to let me in. I will not dismantle what you built unless you ask, nor enter unless invited. I will not be the only one fighting for your love. I will not remain for you if you simply will not be there for you. I will not love you when you are oppressive. I will not make you aware. I will make you aware, hold you accountable, give you care to do better. I will not love you as an option. I will not waste our time or energy for mediocre comfort. I will love you conditionally. I will love you with all the conditions that allow us to be in love, to remain in love, to strive and thrive towards love. I will love you to help ourselves remove all the conditions that tell us that we are unworthy to receive love. I will love you and work so we may have access to love, be sustained in love, to be free through love. I love you, knowing very well you can leave me, that I can leave you. I will love us, build and nurture all the conditions with you so that we will continue to love us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lorenz. I always love hearing from Lorenz. I know that somebody who's here put him on the spot as soon as he logged in to support Janice to see if we could get him to share tonight. So if you are not familiar with Lorenz, he is a staple in the San Jose poetry community. It's funny that I see you tonight, Lorenz, because Lorenz is a dear friend of mine that I'm allowed to have feelings about because we're done competing now. Many years ago, Lorenz, I was having a problem with something and I was about to back out of something I committed to, which is not my style. And it was at the last minute. And I was like venting to Lorenz about it late one night. And he was like, look, it's really simple. Is it a hell yes or a hell no about like things in your life, like how you feel about it? Kind of like if you feeling in the middle and it's kind of like you BSing, he was like, is it hell yes or hell no? And this was in maybe like 2014 or 15. And so I was hitting up the other day to be like, man, this all these years later, and I still use that same like barometer. Is it hell yes or hell no? Because if you really break it down, I know life is so much more nuanced than that, but it really does make a difference. So it's good to see you, Lorenz. It's good to hear poetry from you. I'm glad you're here tonight in the cherry blossoms. I like when people put up the fancy backgrounds, right? And they can look like, I don't know, like they somewhere, you could be anywhere. And it looks kind of good though, until like you move and then you could see like the arm, but I enjoy that. We had Manny upside down earlier, but thank y'all for being here. Are you ready to find out who the winners? Well, everybody was a winner because y'all were here tonight. Who are top three, we should say, our top three placing poets, but everybody is a winner because you chose to be here tonight. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, literally because of Zoom, but you came here to support San Jose Slam. Gotta give me some energy. I mean, I know it's late and stuff. People are tired, but like, you gotta let us know. I see some claps. I see, okay, like slow clap, like I'm over it. I'm done with my life. Okay, to make sure. I got the like magic text that has all my information. Like I said, I get to feel like Obama tonight, like all the magical texts and all the like DMs and stuff. All right. So you have 5 phenomenal poets that I'm now allowed to have feelings about. Thank y'all for being here. I very much enjoyed hearing all of you this evening because now I can have feelings, which don't reflect in these scores, but I have feelings now. So coming in 5th place tonight at the Mother's Day edition of the San Jose Poetry Slam is Larry with a combined total score of 49.3. Y'all can unmute and give it up for Larry.
Larry.
Would you like to share any words, Larry? Anything you like to promote?
No, I've nothing to promote, but it's always good to be in the poetry community.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to see you. Coming in 4th place tonight, with a cumulative score of 49.6 is Queen Calicia. Please give her a round of applause. Queen Calicia, would you like to share any words this evening?
This is actually my first time doing a live poetry slam or even speaking in front of anyone. So thank you guys. You're so awesome and making me feel and it was fun. You guys are good.
Thank you for doing it with us. Congratulations on competing in your first slam and sharing. I hope that you come back and continue to share other open mics and virtual spaces. I love hearing that when people do it with us in San Jose. That's amazing. That is fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm getting more like texts about the magic that needs to happen. So I got to make sure that I'm like doing it right. Okay. All right, my loves. Coming in 3rd place and winning $5. Oh my God, don't rob them on Zoom. Is Janine UC with a combined total score of 49.9. Do you have any words, Janine? Or anything to promote?
Oh, yes, if you want to buy my books of poetry, get in touch with me at JanineUCPoetry@gmail.com.
Amazing. Why don't you drop that in the chat if you are able to, for folks that want to connect with you? But congratulations.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Absolutely. Coming in with second place tonight and winning. I'm sorry, there's a lot of names here. Okay. At second place and winning $10 is Nicole Tracy. Please give her a round of applause. Any words, Nicole? Anything that you would like to share?
Thanks. I'm finally glad I remembered to add 3 because I'm on the East Coast. So I got the time zone right.
That's all. Thank you for being here. I know it's hella late there, but it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you come back for the future. All right, all right. It's that moment of truth. Everybody is a winner, but it is still a competition. So we're in it for poetry and the community. There are still people who win money and titles and such. So coming in first place and winning $20 whole is Scorpiana X. Scorpiana X, what would you like to say to the people? Y'all can give her a round of applause. Don't be stingy now.
Thank you. I never get to slam because I'm always stuck hosting. So it was fun to get to slam for a change. I can't take the prize money. I have to give it back to Poetry Center San Jose. I want to first off give it up for our host, Lindsey. I could not have had this lovely break without her, and she is fabulous. And I did post on here. She has a website, hellofamous.com. Go check it out. Buy an awesome t-shirt. Thank you to our judges, Mr. Excellent, Manny and Brandon. And poets, it was an honor getting to compete with y'all tonight. Thank you, Asha and Lorenz, for helping us out and spitting a poem for us. And thank you to our awesome feature, Janice Sapigao. Janice, do you want to tell people about the Youth Poet Laureate program that just finished up?
Yes, I can do that. Let's see. As Santa Clara, great. I love putting people on the spot. No, I'm just kidding. As a Santa Clara County Poet Laureate, I yes, worked with a really amazing team to start the Youth Poet Laureate program. And so if you know any youth poets who are ages 13 to 18 who are interested, I'll put a link in the chat where people can just follow up on the program. Yes, we have our first Youth Poet Laureate, Anukia, and Vice Laureate, Mahathir Aklilu. And yeah, there are just so many dope poets in San Jose and Santa Clara County. So yeah, I will put that link in the chat, and hopefully they can be here one day. So I'm gonna make it happen. Thank you, Scorpiana. Thank you, everyone.
And for our winners, if you're not in touch with Scorpiana X on Facebook or email or social media, please find a way to connect with her. So to collect your prize money, Scorpiana X and Poetry Center San Jose will be getting that to you either by paper check, by PayPal, or by Venmo. And so she is the magic. I know y'all don't do it for the money, but you legitimately did win. So to collect your prize, please get in touch with Scorpiana before the show ends tonight on her social media DMs. Within the coming days so she can get that to y'all. But thank y'all for being here tonight. It was fun. I hope y'all had a good time. I'm not sure what time zone everybody was in, but once again, we want to thank Janice, the Santa Clara County Poet Laureate, for being here and giving us so many feels, amazing features. She did mention earlier when she posted her website, she's going on a little hiatus and coming back in fall. So we're honored that she was here with us tonight. I want to thank our judges for not taking any money and doing it for the culture and for the people and for all the poets who joined us tonight. Thank y'all for being here, our first timers. Thank y'all for having your first time performing here at the San Jose Poetry Slam. Once again, this happens every second Sunday of the month. Scorpiana X, our slam master, is usually our host, but she got a much needed night off tonight that I was excited about to fill in for her. So I got to hear her do some poetry tonight and be your bonus judge. I actually used to host a slam sometimes when we were in person, and I was clowning around. This used to be in a bar, and when it was in a bar, people get a little faded and they have those whiteboards. They would show the scores to the audience and not to me, and I would not be the nicest judge about it. Y'all gonna make my job easy. So it's nice to just see all the scores on Zoom, and I have to hunt down these judges. So thank you, judges, for just typing it right there in the chat for me to see. I have to hunt you down at a bar, see what your whiteboard says. But we love y'all. Be well. I don't know. Are we gonna score? But we having a little like after party. Normally this ends at like 10. It's like 9:02. What are we doing?
Folks can hang out and chat if they want. We don't
Like
have
the Zoom slam after party.
Yeah, we're not as exciting when we're not in a bar.
A cozy little time.
Yeah.
I'm
It is
not.
a cozy, a little cozy time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the Simon Cowell of poetry tonight.
Own it, as long as you know.
Hey, you know, sometimes you just gotta say it how you say it.
Yeah, I appreciated it. I think you grounded us actually.
Every
Not sure what that means, but yeah.
every ceiling has to have a floor.
There you go. Gotta have a good,
Not
strong.
everybody
solid
who's logging
foundation.
off.
It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Lindsey. Thank
Hope
you,
to see you next
everybody.
time.
Bye,
Janine,
Y'all
everyone.
be safe. Stay
Yeah.
safe out there.
Janine,
Congratulations,
don't
Scorpiana.
disappear.
Good job, Scorp.
Yeah.
Good job, Scorp.
Thank
Get your
you.
money, folks.
Take care, everybody.
Great math, Mr. Excellent.
See you, Brennan.
Yeah, Janine, don't leave yet. Whatever you do.
Uh-oh. Okay. I still have you on my phone.
Okay.
What'd you do?
Can you, what I need you to send me, I either need your Venmo info or your PayPal info, or I'm gonna have to have Bill Cazzini mail you a check for the $5.
Okay. What PayPal info do you need?
I need to know how to pay you on either PayPal or Venmo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So PayPal at my Gmail address.
Oh, okay. Let me write. If it doesn't, I'm writing it down really quick. If it doesn't go through by tomorrow morning, hit me, like message me. So
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
I really need to get bifocals. I'm like all trying to read
Zero
the
judgment.
Yeah, I'm here reading off my computer with the font as large as humanly possible.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
And Nicole, I just sent yours.
Hey, great. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
Night,
you
Janine.
all. Thank you.
Got it.
Great meeting you all.
Oh, it's just us. Nobody wanted the
Yeah.
after party. Congratulations on winning. You were fucking awesome.
Thank you.
It's exciting to get to see you like slam again, because it's been like, I don't even know.
Yeah, like legitimately, like since, you know, everything's been shut down, I competed once October in Loudmouth Slam. They did for Halloween, they did a head-to-head. And
tight.
that was yeah, that was the only thing. And then even like in person, you know, most of the nights at Caravan, I was hosting. So like I have not, I'm not slammed in hella long.
I'm glad you got to slam tonight. I was like sad when, I was happy when I went to Caravan because it had a home, but then I was sad that it was on Sundays and not Mondays because I worked on Sunday. And Sunday, even though Sunday was like technically the day we closed the earliest, it was also the day that like made me cry the most. So it'd just be like, maybe the slam, it'd be like, I would get up at the beginning of my day and be like, just go after work. And then it would be like an hour to close and be like, I am ready to cry on the bus. Which is why there was maybe like 2 times you saw me where I like sucked it up. I like made it over there. And then there was other days I legit kind of like went home and kind of just like, so you don't actually cry, but you kind of just like get super fetal, because it's like your Friday and it's just so bad. Sundays were just so bad. Thankfully, I don't do that now, but I just remember like I was sad when the slam went to Sunday for that purpose of like not like technically being able to go, but then like not actually being able to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, thank
you, Lindsay.
Mike, tell her the funny story about Larry.
Oh, I'm texting Larry right now. He went to the restroom with his phone on.
So like you saw it? You saw him go to the bathroom?
I wasn't focused on Larry, but I saw him walk in and then he set the phone down and he went to the restroom. I don't know if it was shown. We have to watch the video. I just told him we're going to edit it out